If you're struggling with your running or your 5 mile, here are some tips that you can use to quickly improve. So tip number one, obviously the volume of how much you are running. I hear guys talk about how much they run weekly and they're not doing nearly enough volume. For example, when I was in Ranger Regiment, we would run around 20 plus miles a week, and most of those runs would be 5 plus miles every single time. So when I hear you guys are doing, 2, 3 miles with some sprints on the side, it's not enough volume, guys. You need to crank those numbers up. You need to get that volume up, brother. You want a good variety as well when you go running throughout your week. You have your tempo runs, which is around 6 to 8 miles. Your sprints, which are going to be your 6120s, you guys are familiar with. And also you guys are going to do long runs, which are going to be around 8 to 10 miles. So you want to do that kind of variety weekly. This will overall increase your overall cardiovascular system. It's going to make it a lot more efficient, especially when it comes to your long runs. Your aerobic capacity is going to be larger, and by that effect, tempo runs are going to be a lot easier. And then the next tip is a huge one. You want to be measuring your heart rate. This is your great tool of measurement, right? When you measure your heart rate when you're running, it tells you how hard you're working. A good heart rate zone to shoot for is where athletes are, around the 40 to 60 range. The more you run, the better it's going to get. For example, when I was in Ranger Regiment, we would run so much that it got even below, it was around 34 heartbeats per second. It might sound dangerous, but it's actually really healthy. And then the last tip, obviously get sufficient rest. This is where you're going to make huge amounts of progress. This goes for everything you do. When you're working out, lifting weights, running, learning a language, whatever, that is where you make the most progress, is when you're sleeping. So take it seriously. You want to get the recommended 7 to 9 hours. And when you do that, you're maximizing your potential when it comes to running.